What's up, everyone? It's KK. Now, today I'm going to talk about the way that I personally believe is the best way to build your weapon in the current wipe right now in Exfil zone. I feel like a lot of things that we used to prioritize last wipe when it came to building our weapon is going to change a lot with this wipe, especially because of Resort being so close quarters, but just because of the way the game works in general. So let's go ahead and get right into this. So if we come and we look here, the only two stats that you're actually able to manipulate on a weapon is going to be the ergonomics and then the recoils, which is the vertical recoil and the horizontal recoil. With that in mind, you have to think, okay, so how do I want to build my weapon? Do I want to have good ergonomics or do I want to have low recoil? Well, we know in this game, when it comes to ergonomics, it's just going to affect the reticle on your dot, and when you're moving, how much it sways around, okay? So that little jump on my reticle is gonna be, increased or decreased depending on how much my ergonomics is. So are we going to build for ergonomics or are we going to build for recoil? And are we going to be suppressed or unsuppressed? So what I currently think the best thing to do in the current wipe is to have a weapon that is unsuppressed and you build solely for recoil. And I'm going to explain why. Now, one thing that I'm personally going to stop using is suppressors in this game. Now, one thing about suppressors, they're supposed to conceal your presence, right? Well, one thing about this game is that currently suppressors can be heard from quite a distance, and the directional audio is actually very good when it comes to suppressors. So you could be way down over here, by the office buildings, or maybe you could be somewhere by the mall on top of the roof, or maybe you can be way over in Hydertown from here, and I will be able to hear your suppressor go off either way, and I will know the exact location. So to be completely honest, having a suppressor on your weapon is not really viable in the current wipe. So for that exact reason, I am running a compensator now, right? Now what compensators really do is lower your recoil dramatically, okay? This compensator specifically with this PKO1, I believe this is called a cookie, this is the PKO1 grip, reduce the recoil of your weapon dramatically. Now one thing I want to say in this game, long range shooting is only viable, in my opinion, if you have the best ammo in the game, okay? Long range shooting in this game, in my opinion, gives away your position dramatically. All it does is give away your position while you're shooting 6, 7, 8 shots and you're not killing the player just because of damage drop off and because your bullet is not doing much damage in general. What you really want to be doing is using a high tier ammo like M993, M61 or so, and then going for those headshots. But if you're using anything below that, long range shooting is not worth it. You want to focus on rapid fire and getting all those bullets out as much as possible. Well, that's kind of hard when you're using attachments like suppressors that don't give you the most recoil reduction, okay? So that's why I'm using attachments like the cookie, the PKO1, because it's going to dramatically reduce my recoil. I'm also using a lot of red dots, even on a map like Suburb, just because the recoil control is absolutely amazing, okay? So if I even come here, I can see a scab down the way right here. If I try to control this recoil as much as I can, as you can see, I did kill him there. My bullets are going everywhere, but you can see how steady my recoil was even from this range. So if a player is any closer than that, I'm going to be hitting them a lot, all right? Okay, so we're here in the market. Now let's talk about some of the best attachments, and then I'm going to go over to the weapons that I believe are some of the best right now in the wipe, personally for me, okay? So let's go down here. Now we're gonna look at the red dots here because some of these red dots actually reduce the vertical and horizontal recoil, mainly these purple ones here, right? So like the Lomi scope. I personally do not like this one. Everyone likes it so much. I don't like huge reticles. It's not really my type of thing, but the Lomi does give you -1 on vertical recoil and -1 for horizontal recoil, which is very, very good. Even though it's such a small stat, everything is going to add up. And then we have things like the Predator. Predator is one of the best compensators in the game, -15 vertical recoil and 16% for horizontal recoil. Very, very nice. I believe this might be tier 3. So once you get those tier 3 traders, you're pretty much in the good run to go ahead and start rocking out with these attachments. And then if we go over here for Igor, I believe he has the PKO1 grip, which is absolutely disgusting for vertical recoil. If we come right here, a PK1 minus 22% vertical recoil and minus 5 for horizontal. This is absolutely insane if you're wanting a weapon with very low recoil. And then if we come along here, you can see the Savior red dot that I've actually been using lately, because this scope I feel like is a little underrated. This sight is just nasty. I don't know why, but the dot does not move at all when I'm shooting. I've tested this exact same build with different scopes, specifically the Lomi, and the Lomi is just bouncing around everywhere when I shoot, and this one is so much easier to control. So I've been liking the Savior. The FPO also is minus stats on the recoil. So things like those are something you want to keep in mind. So let's talk about some of the weapons here. Now, when it comes to picking a weapon, I believe that anything with a vertical recoil of 80 in the 80s and below is what you want to be using, okay? So specifically for ARC, we're going to be talking about the RC416, which has a base vertical recoil of 81. We also have the M4 mod here, which has a base recoil of 75. Very, very good weapons. Now, if we want to talk about Igor, you're going to want to be using something like the AK-74N mod, which has a base recoil of 84. And you can also use the AK-74U mod, which has the vertical recoil of 88, okay? So any of these 4 weapons combined with, these compensators, a PK1 grip, one of these red dots, and you're going to be solid all around, all right? You can use mid-tier ammo, high-tier ammo, you're going to be doing very well. And if you have high-tier ammo, you're going to be doing very, very well. Now, those are only 4 weapons, all right? There are weapons like the Seka 16 5.56 that has even lower, vertical recoil than all of those ones, all right? There's other weapons, obviously, 7.6251 weapons. Those are going to be harder hitters, but there's really headshot weapons, But other than that, that is my opinion on what I think are probably some of the best guns to use all around when it comes to Exfil Zone currently, okay? I've had a lot of people in the comments ask me what I think, some of the best weapons are. Well, there you have it, and those are also the attachment setups I'm thinking are the best also. So go ahead and try those out. Hit up the comment section, tell me what weapons you like, what weapons you think are the best. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more content, and I'll catch you guys later.